Have you ever wondered how a world ends? Not with a bang, but with a whisper, a lie that poisons everything. This is the story of the last days of Narnia, a tale of shadow, courage, and a glorious, unexpected dawn. Our story begins, not with armies or great battles, but with a cunning, cynical ape named Shift. In the quiet of Lantern Waste, near the great waterfall, Shift finds a lion's skin floating in the cauldron pool. A wicked idea takes root. He forces his simple, good-hearted friend, Puzzle the donkey, to wear the skin. And just like that, a false Aslan is born. Shift proclaims that Aslan has returned, but this Aslan is different. He speaks only through Shift, demanding that Narnians work for the Calamines, their ancient enemies. He orders the talking trees to be cut down and sold, their very voices silenced. The lie spreads like a sickness. Narnia, a land built on faith and freedom, begins to wither. The animals are confused, their hearts torn. Could Aslan truly command such cruelty? Doubt and fear creep into every corner of the kingdom. Word of this strange new Aslan reaches Cair Paravel, where the last king of Narnia, Tirian, holds his court. Tirian is a good king, brave and true, a descendant of the great line of Rilian. At first, he and his loyal friend, Jewel the unicorn, dismissed the rumors. Aslan is not a tame lion, they say. He would never do such things. But when a dryad, a tree spirit, stumbles into his court and dies, crying out that her tree has been murdered on Aslan's orders, Tirian knows he must act. He and Jewel travel to Lantern Waste to uncover the truth. What they find breaks their hearts. They see talking beasts, enslaved, forced to haul timber for the Calamines. They hear the name of Aslan used to justify every cruelty. In a moment of righteous fury, Tirian kills 2 Calamines. Overwhelmed by guilt for shedding blood in what is supposed to be a time of peace, he surrenders himself to the enemy. Tied to a tree, awaiting his fate, King Tirian cries out for help, not to anyone in Narnia but to the friends of Narnia from another world, the legends of old. He calls out to the great kings and queens of the Golden Age, Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy, and in a moment of pure magic, a vision pierces through time and space. He sees them, the children from Earth, gathered in a strange room, their faces filled with concern. They see him too. A connection is made across the world. Soon after, Tirian is rescued by 2 familiar faces, though he has never met them. Eustace Scrubb and Gilpole, the very children from his vision, suddenly appear in Narnia. They have been sent by the real Aslan together. This small band of heroes, a king, a unicorn, and 2 children from another world, vow to fight for Narnia's soul. They free Puzzle the donkey and expose him to the Narnians, showing them the lion's skin. But the lie has taken on a life of its own. Shift, now in league with the cunning Calamine captain Rishta Tarkon, changes the story. He claims that Aslan and the Calamine god, Tash, are one and the same. Tashalon, this new monstrous god, is said to reside in a small stable nearby. Anyone who wishes to see him must enter. The atmosphere grows dark and terrifying. A dreadful presence can be felt emanating from the stable. The lie has become so powerful that it has summoned something real, something ancient and evil. The demon god Tash himself has come to Narnia. The final battle is at hand. King Tirian gathers his small, loyal force, a handful of talking beasts, a few dwarfs, Jewel, Eustace, and Jill. They stand against a much larger army of Calamines and deceived Narnians. The dwarfs, in a twist of bitter cynicism, declare they will fight for no one but themselves. The dwarfs are for the dwarfs, they shout, refusing to be taken in again, and in their stubborn disbelief, they blind themselves to the truth. The battle is desperate, a hopeless last stand in the twilight of a world. One by one, Tirian's loyal followers fall. It is a scene of heartbreaking courage against overwhelming odds. Finally, with his forces shattered, Tirian grabs Rishta Tarkon and, in a final act of defiance, hurls them both into the stable, into the presence of the very god that Tarkon cynically invoked. Inside, Tirian expects death. Instead, he finds not darkness, but a brilliant light. He is no longer in a dusty, cramped stable, but in a vast, sunlit country. And standing before him are the High King, Peter, King Edmund, Lord Diggory, Lady Polly, Queen Lucy, Queen Jill, and King Eustace. All the friends of Narnia gather together. They are radiant, youthful, and robed in splendor. And beside them, in all his glory, stands the true Aslan. But where are they? Lucy looks out through the stable doorway and sees a horrifying sight. She sees Narnia, their beloved Narnia, but it is dying. Stars fall from the sky like silver fruit. The sun and moon are extinguished. Father Time awakens and blows his horn, signaling the end. A great wave of water rises and washes over the land, erasing everything. The world of Narnia is unmade. Aslan turns to the terrified creatures huddled before the stable. One by one, every living being that ever was in Narnia is called to face him. They run towards the doorway. Those who look upon Aslan with love and faith pass through into the light. But those whose hearts are filled with fear, hate, or deceit cannot bear his gaze. They swerve away and vanish into his great shadow, lost forever. The small group of dwarfs who fought for themselves are also here, inside the stable, but they cannot see it. They sit in a circle, believing they are trapped in a dark, smelly hut. Aslan puts a glorious feast before them, but they taste only hay and dirty water. They are prisoners of their own minds, so determined not to be fooled that they can no longer recognize the truth. Aslan explains with great sadness, their prison is only in their own minds, yet they are in that prison, and so afraid of being taken in that they cannot be taken out. Then, Aslan leads the kings and queens and all the faithful creatures further up and further in. He explains that the Narnia they knew, the one that just ended, was only a shadow, a copy of the real Narnia which has always existed here, in his country. He compares it to Plato's cave. They had only lived in a shadow. All the beauty of the old Narnia was just a hint of the true beauty here. They run across the golden fields, feeling stronger and faster than ever before. They recognize familiar places, Caer Paravel, the fords of Barunabot, each is grander, more real, more vibrant than they remember. They realize that every good thing in their old world was a reflection of this perfect, eternal reality. They are reunited with everyone they ever loved and lost. Reepicheep the mouse is there, having reached the end of the world long ago. So are the Pevensies' parents, who had died in the same train crash that sent the children here. They learn that they are all, in fact, dead in the Shyamalan's. The train crash on Earth was their doorway into this new life. All except Susan. Susan, in her desire to be grown up, had turned away from Narnia, calling it a silly childhood game. She is not here. She is left alive in our world, to walk her own path and hopefully, one day, find her way back. The story ends not with an ending, but a beginning. The friends of Narnia have passed through the Shadowlands. The last battle was won, and the great story, the one that goes on forever, in which every chapter is better than the one before, has just begun. The final days of Narnia were not a tragedy, but a doorway into an adventure more real and lasting than any they had ever known. Thanks for watching. If you love stories that explore deep themes of faith, loss, and ultimate hope, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more journeys into the heart of classic literature. See you next time.